Because Zukr is good for diabetics, if you've got one member in your family who's diabetic and everybody else is eating cake but they can't, that's a really hard position for a person, particularly if you've got a child that becomes diabetic.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Sweet Liberation. I'm Nabila.
And I'm Luke.
And we are so excited today because we're going to talk to you about our vision and our mission. There's so much to talk about, isn't there?
Yeah, and our passion and everything that goes along with that, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll start. This is so much more than a business idea, isn't it?
Yes, it is. So, yeah. It is a mission, and it is the thing we're particularly passionate about is helping people know about Zukr and all of the wonderful health benefits it has.
Yeah, and also not going beyond. For me, I don't know about you, Luke, but for me, it's so much more than a product business. This is Sweet Liberation is a vision for people to enjoy and feel joy in living and healthy living every day. What do you think?
And I think, yes, and I think we've also identified how easy it actually is to make the switch.
It is. It's not, and it's just way beyond even thinking just to remove sugar, because removing sugar is a stepping stone towards a healthy lifestyle. And I think we can all agree, regardless of what your eating styles are, whether you're vegan, you are plant-based, vegetarian, and low calorie, low carb, keto, paleo, doesn't really matter what style of eating you're at. Nearly every good nutritional approach in the world now is looking at sugar reduction, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And people are more and more conscious these days about improving their health.
Exactly.
And getting help with that, because not everybody knows. And I know there was a survey done recently by one of the big supermarkets, and they said that it was as much as 75% of their customers actually wanted help with becoming healthier.
Yeah, and that's where we come in. And we don't see ourselves as a product business because there are squillion products out there in the world that are claiming to bring better health. You pop this pill, have a better health. Take this supplement, have better health. But actually, a product on its own, out of context with what's going on in somebody's life, is not going to help them, is it?
No. You need a support system around it. And that's one of the things that we've identified. And we think that not only is the product fantastic, but it's actually all of the fun and the support around it.
Exactly. And that's what we realised right early on in this mission and this vision, is that we needed to go way beyond bringing products to people. Because yes, products are part of the solution, but somebody who has got a product that sits in the back of the cupboard and they never engage with it, never use it, and they don't even associate that with something which can be a lifestyle change that will help them improve their health. They will buy it, they'll leave it on the shelf, and then they'll go, one day I'll do that. And then the thing expires, and then they never take action. That's not what we want.
No, absolutely not. And the other thing that I wanted to mention about the mission, which we'll touch on in a bit, is that we actually feel that we've got a responsibility now to tell everybody about it. It's not just about having all of the fun and the switch. It's actually about our mission to tell everybody about everything to do with Zukr and the community.
Sugar.
And having too much sugar.
Exactly. I don't even think, a lot of people don't realise there's a problem, but a lot of people understand it's a problem, but they're like, but I can't stop.
Yeah.
And we totally understand that because, we love the sweet treat.
And it's neurological as well, isn't it?
Yeah, you're hooked.
It is, you're hooked.
You're hooked. You can't help it. It's so addictive. It's, they think, 6 to 12 times as addictive as crack cocaine, which is shocking because we give sugar to children. And yet, despite all of this, we find it so difficult to break the habit because it's everywhere, Luke, isn't it?
It is.
You go everywhere, and sugar is just a supermarket. You go and get petrol or gasoline, as they say in some countries, for your car, and there in the fuel station, chocolate, sweet. It's just everywhere, and it's hidden in all the foods, and you literally just can't get away from it. A lot of people start their day like that.
They do, and they're having a bar of chocolate or a chocolate emergency.
Oh my gosh, a chocolate emergency! That's very much a girl thing. Any girl that's watching this knows what a chocolate emergency is, and it's such an important thing for us to understand just what part it plays in our lives. I used to run when I was a student in my 20s. Such a long time ago, Nick. such a long time ago. But anyway, back in the day, there were a few dinosaurs flying around the sky. And I used to go and grab a can of Coke, and that would fuel me.
Okay.
That was, I mean, it was just,
But how long?
and I felt awful.
You had a sugar high and then a sugar crash.
Awful. I felt awful. My health was terrible. And then I remember a friend of mine had a father who was a naturopath, and I was having some health issues. I didn't realise I had an autoimmune disease at the time. So I was having all of these terrible tiredness, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, he said, "What are you eating?" Went to him and he's like, "Okay, we need to cut out the sugar." And that was before it was even fashionable to do so. Because when we were growing up, it was like, sugar is good for your energy, right?
Absolutely. You need it for energy. Otherwise, you're going to be, falling asleep during the day. In fact, I remember one company had a slogan about their chocolate bar helping you work, rest, and play.
Oh, my goodness.
And you had to have one of these every day. And of course, all of that messaging.
The messaging is just so awful. And I remember, yes, you had these all of these adverts as well aimed at kids. So I was a kid watching the TV, and they'd have this Milky Bar kid, and then you'd watch it, and then they had the Milky Way and all of these little chocolates and stuff that were aimed at children. Of course, we were outdoors all the time when we were growing up.
We were, indeed. Yeah, running around, having fun, playing on bikes, all these things.
Exactly. Yeah. So you didn't see the impact so much because we were just burning off those calories all day. But now, the majority of people, and I blame myself in this, I put myself in this category, living much more sedentary lives. Certainly, children don't play outside anymore, do they?
They don't know. But I think it's also important, going back to that, when you raised just now, that is about the people's, the false belief that sugar is necessary, very necessary for a diet, for energy. And that's something that we want to sort of break down, that myth, and help people with the community and the education.
Exactly, and the support. Yeah. Because when you realise it's actually not your fault that you are addicted to all of these foods that are everywhere, and this sugar that's been put in the foods to make you go back for more and more and more, so you can't stop eating it.
Yeah.
When you realise it's not your fault, it's been put there for a reason so that you can't stop eating the food.
Yes.
Then, and you have the support system around you, then there's no reason for you not to succeed.
No, exactly. And the interesting thing is with Zukr is that it actually helps you beat those sugar cravings because it's not sugar. You get that sweet taste, but you don't then have the craving. So you're not going back for more. That's my personal experience.
Exactly. And you know what? One of the things I've loved about doing this podcast and interviews that we've done, some amazing interviews, I keep going back to most people don't realise the roots of sugar. They don't realise it goes back. Cane sugar goes all the way back to the slave trade.
Yes.
And some of the sugar companies that are in existence now are the same companies that were in the same names for sure, as all the way back to the slave trade.
Yeah. Which
is awful if you think about it. And then you think about what we're doing to the environment, soil erosion, etc., etc. There's no end of consequences to the sugar industry.
Yes. Well, then, of course, what people may want to know about is the difference between cane sugar that's grown in the Caribbean or in some of the Latin American countries and then shipped all the way across the Atlantic to the UK. Again, bad for the planet, but as well from a shipping perspective.
Yeah.
Also, the sugar beet that's actually grown in the east side of the UK, en masse, hundreds of thousands of tons. And the sugar beet crop is very difficult to actually harvest because it's actually the beet matures later in the year. Yeah. And when it's getting wetter, you then lose more soil and you're then washing that off. So you've got a lot of soil erosion in the UK as a result of the sugar beet side of things. And a lot of farmers are saying, do you know what? It's not really, we saw that the Country File had a big article on sugar beet production on the BBC. And they were talking about farmers giving up producing sugar. But, that isn't a bad thing because we're consuming 3 times the amount of sugar, according to the World Health Organization, per person in the UK, more than any other European country. So we could actually afford to cut back. The worrying thing is that the actual sugar companies are actually saying they're going to increase production by 30%. And the idea behind that is that it's being crammed into more and more foods.
It's just appalling.
It's sort of stealth, isn't it? It's the stealthing into everything.
It's unbelievable. And it's there. But then on the flip side, you've got this diet industries that are just making people feel like they are not good enough. You are bad. It's all your fault. But you're surrounded by this addictive food, the drugs are everywhere, all around you, in every cupboard and every shop. And then you're like, but it's all your fault. You should be able to control yourself.
Yes.
And it's gaslighting.
It is.
It's proper gaslighting. So we just think enough is enough. That's what this movement is about. And the more we engage with people and users and conversations with people, the more we realise that actually we shouldn't be quite angry about this.
Should be. Yeah, absolutely. And so many people that we talk to, they say, well, why didn't we know about this before now? That's another thing that makes people very angry. If this has been about so many, 170 years, why is it being a best kept secret?
Well, our product, that's right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is the thing. So we've got a solution, obviously, for replacing sugar. But you can replace sugar, but if you don't help people to actually look at their whole lifestyle and support them in that and make them feel great about being healthy, help them feel great about who they are, where they are right now, and taking that journey, that joyful feeling. This is, quite frankly, if you go to a shop, right, and you buy your favorite treat, and you eat it, that's sweet stuff, the bad stuff, right?
The bad stuff.
Yeah, and all the whatever, the sugary things. You feel happy in the moment, don't you? You're like, oh, this is my favorite thing. You eat it, and then on the other side, you've got the diet food. I don't know if men understand this quite as much as women. I think some men get this, but this is very much a woman thing. Do you mind if I tell you?
Carry on with the story. Yeah.
So for women, my experience is that you're just constantly feeling guilty about it. It's a constant feeling of guilt. If you eat the thing, you go and make a cake for your family, you eat a piece of cake, like, oh, I shouldn't have eaten that, that's naughty. And then it's a constant thing. And the more you feel guilty about it, the more you feel stressed and the more you want to eat to comfort yourself. Can you see? So it's a cycle. And then the other thing is, a lot of mums do, I'll put my hand up here, you put the kids to bed, off they go, some me time. Off you go, fridge, cupboard, kettle on, whatever. Get yourself a nice little pop drink or whatever you want to drink. And then you sit and you eat your treat as a reward for a hard day of looking after the children, and you watch the TV and you relax and you just want to scoff. And so it's a reward system.
Wow. Yeah.
Do you understand any of that?
No, that doesn't really affect me at all. I'm glad to say.
Guilty.
No. The only thing I will say is, when I was a child, I had access to sugar, and it was in a sugar bowl, and you could just spoon in however many dessert spoons of sugar straight onto your cereal. And I, as a child, 3, 4, 5 shredded wheat, any of those sorts of things, and then tooth decay. So if I'd have known about Zukr and 20 or 30 years or so ago, it would have been great, because I wouldn't have had the dental work that I had in all that time. So, but no, the thing about guilt though is, I did notice the other day I had a bowl of cornflakes and I put Zukr over it, and for a split second I did feel bad. I felt, oh, this doesn't look good. I haven't had that much, sweetness on something, and then I thought, hang on, no, this is good for you. There's no calories in it. Oh, it's not going to spike my blood sugar, and it was delicious.
Did you love it?
Loved it. It was like Kellogg's Frosties.
Oh my God! But without the sugar.
No sugar.
Oh, I mean, whatever, you do you. My pleasure is something chocolatey, so I'll make something chocolatey. It's more, now that I've got the ability to do that without the sugar, it's just great, to be honest.
And I want to just butt in and say, actually, you can tell me yours, but I actually, one of the things I love is the lemon drizzle cake.
Oh, that was good.
Lemon drizzle cake made with Zukr, no sugar. You can then, with the lemons, you build the juice there, you can mix that in with powder the Zukr down and then pour that over the top and have a glaze.
Finish. It's a glaze. What about the cheesecake topping?
Oh yeah, cheesecake topping.
That's my thing.
Awesome. You like the cheesecake topping?
Yeah, I like the cheesecake topping because I like literally that cheesecake topping. So my tiramisu as well. All this desserts, all the things. So my opinion is, okay, so people will be watching this go, but you shouldn't be encouraging people to have desserts and treats. And it's like, okay, we can take a really puritanical approach to nutrition and wellness and health. We can go down that route because that's basically what we've been doing. People at some point in life, and this is my philosophy, it's all coming out now.
Yeah.
in the olden days, people used to go to church
Yes.
or their, religious place a lot more than they do now. But they still do, but the majority of people were more religious than they are now, for instance, in this country.
Yeah.
And that's where they would be told what to do. And they would, sort of have time to reflect on how they were behaving. And there was this kind of ethical values and sticking to the right and wrong. When that disappeared, my opinion is, this is just my view, is that people have switched that because now they don't have this sort of structure of what's right and wrong, what's good and bad, and sort of that judginess that can happen. Not all the time, not for all religious people at all, because it can be very good for people. But sometimes when you have that structure, it can cause people to be a little bit judgmental and create this kind of right, wrong, good, bad, that kind of thing. So now, why am I saying this? Because this is done right off piece. I'll come back to the subject. The subject is food. And where we had authorities and people and mentalities and philosophies that were a lot more based around this kind of more structured thinking, if you like, we've removed that and we've taken that and placed it in other parts of life. So weight is one of them. Food is another. Nutrition, exercise. So now, if you eat this food, you're bad, very bad, very, very bad. Eat this good, very, very, eat this food, very, very good. So it's the same judginess. Can you see?
Same thing. Yes.
So I don't subscribe to being kind of judgmental of people, and we don't in our business at all, do we? No, not this movement. I think
it's not anybody's fault. I mean, look at lockdown. We couldn't go out. We couldn't exercise. All the drive-throughs and things are still open, so you could still get your cake and hot chocolates. But you can't. It's not no point being judgmental. It's not anybody's fault.
It's not
the way where we work.
So I suppose that's it. So where there was that removal of judgment, now we need an outlet for that judgment, and the outlet has become people, self-image, physical attributes, your weight, your size, and what you're eating.
You see a lot of that through social media.
Social media is all about that. This is good, this is bad. Don't eat this, don't eat that. And it's like, we're just so exhausted by it all.
Yeah.
And so we just actually, going back to desserts, because pizza, a lot of people are shocked that we would even think that could be a part of healthy living. What do you think about it?
Well, I think it's great because, the one thing I've always said and believe about what we're doing is it's a great stepping stone. And so we're not saying you can't have a piece of cake. All you need to do is switch what you're putting into that cake. It still is sweet with Zukr.
Yeah.
And it's still delicious. And don't have any horrible aftertaste of Zukr. Don't eat a whole Victoria sandwich every single day.
Don't do that.
I'm not saying do that, but you don't have to go without. That's the thing. And you can feel good doing it.
Yeah.
Feel good in the process.
That's right. Maybe, go for a cake that's got more nutritional value. Some people even make cakes with vegetables and things like that. Did you know that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Only people put kale into cake.
Yes. I saw somebody making, was it zucchini bread? Actually, somebody told us that they had made zucchini bread with Zukr and they loved it. They said it was the best thing ever. We've had other people make banana bread with it.
Yes.
Things like that with their children. So they're mashing up the old brown bananas in the fruit bowl and making it. So it doesn't have to be just about, let's have this sweet indulgence, but it can be about bringing families together.
Yes.
Around that event.
Yeah. That's right. Getting everybody involved. And also, you're not doing it on your own. I mean, one of the things that, when you're getting the whole family involved and getting everybody, and the children love Zukr, and, as you know, my son's school have been baking with it and things, and that's a massive thing for the children and the nutritionists and the chefs looking at all of what they're feeding the children and saying, wow, we want to get behind this. That's really exciting.
Exactly. And it's just
going back to the whole family thing. The one thing that came up the other day, which was we wanted to touch on as well, is that because Zukr is good for diabetics, if you've got one member in your family who's diabetic and everybody else is eating cake but they can't, that's a really hard position for a person, particularly if you've got a child that becomes diabetic.
Or even an adult that's diabetic.
Yes,
no,
but they can slightly understand it more, but excluding one child from
really hard.
Sweet food,
right.
Kids got the others. So, brilliant way to incorporate something that the whole family.
Get rid of the sugar in the house.
The sugar.
And let's support each other to that healthy,
really
to feel good.
Yeah.
To feel good. So we believe in that because, there are many, many companies that are just selling products.
Yes.
We're different.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're different.
And we've got an app.
We've got an app. I know, this is really exciting. So we've been squirreling away over the last about 8 months now. And we're very, very close to bringing this out to the world, and it's extremely exciting.
I love it. Well, I like it because it's very easy to use, and it's very easy to show you your path. Because the thing about anything is, if you've got a sort of a stepping stone process, and and we mentioned earlier on that the Zukr is that stepping stone, and if you like, the conduit to take you away from sugar. But with the app is going to help and support and provide you with that easy, clear recipe ideas, community, and support in your journey.
Exactly, without having to feel deprived or overwhelmed or lonely in that, because you're going to have community support, recipes, live baking and cookery classes. So it's really about bringing people together, communities together, families together to really start enjoying what it feels to be outdoors and happy. I mean, I'm South American, Luke. We love eating. Yeah. I'm not going to apologize for that. Our people like eating. We also like being together as family.
Yes.
That's the thing we love. And I think if there's one thing from my culture I can bring into this, is that feeling of togetherness and family. And that's the thing that food does in such a special way, doesn't it? That I don't think, bringing people together through food, through healthy eating, without even having to call it healthy eating, joyful eating.
And having fun.
It's so much fun. So much fun.
Kitchen disco.
So we've even got an area in the app which is just for dancing in the kitchen. I can't say too much because I'm going to get too much away. But
there's a lot of kind of free things in the app as well.
There's a lot of free.
And of course, the thing I like about it as well is if people want to subscribe, then we ship them free Zukr.
Yeah, that's it. So it's just going to be so exciting. We can't wait. So, to be able to tell the world about it and to be able to serve and help people and really to accomplish our mission to help millions of families. That's what we want to do.
And also my goal, my personal goal, is to be able to say in a few years' time, we have told 5, 10 million, 50 million people about it, whatever that number is. Yeah, that we've told people about Zukr and they've had the opportunity to know about it and try it. That's my goal.
That's right. And to realise that they can still enjoy sweet food as part of a really healthy lifestyle. Yeah. And we can bring those things together, community, support, and access to great products as well. So we can't wait to be able to serve you. So I think with that said, is there anything you wanted to finish on? Is there any sort of last words about our mission and, your vision and your mission?
Well, really to have a situation, as I said just now, where we've touched people, we've contacted people through all of the methods that we can, just reaching out and getting that message out there, really. That's really what I want to do.
And I want to say just to all we're really excited about being able to work with lots of diverse communities, and that's the thing that is really exciting. The people that are most disproportionately affected by obesity, diabetes, high blood pressure, and lots of diseases and issues and health issues around that actually could be helped, if not solved completely, by improving the nutrition. And reducing sugar is right at the top of being able to do that, which is why the governments have tried to. But they're saying on one hand they're trying to do it, but they're not
really trying that hard.
Not enough.
Doing reversals of bits and pieces that they have done. I know Jamie Oliver got very much behind that. The thing I would actually like to leave as a touch on as we wrap up is the fact that I really want to be talking to more schools. And because, as I say, my story is about the dental work I had as a child, and that was mostly sugar-related things. But if we can talk to the 25,000 schools in the UK and have an arm of our business that is aimed at the education side to children, that will be, for me, massive. And the other thing we've identified is the amount of sugar that's consumed in hospitals. If we could even reduce that sugar consumption in hospitals, you're lying in bed, you're trying to get well, and they're feeding you with syrup, sponge, and custard. It is the worst thing. They're packing sugar into you, and I I don't know. I just can't believe that there's so much sugar consumption.
Sugar.
So if you could reduce that, again, get some of this, talk to the NHS. But right now, we've got to focus on telling everybody about it. And then, as I say, part of our mission will be, or my personal mission is within schools and hospitals.
Yes, absolutely. And vision, mission to really impact lives and to help people feel joy around healthy living, healthy eating. And that's what we're all about. So we can't wait to be able to serve you and your families, your communities, and bring us all together with that joyful celebration of healthy eating. That's what we're about. That's a celebration of healthy eating and healthy living. So with that said, we'll love you and leave you now. And we'll catch you again on the Sweet Liberation. Don't forget to subscribe to our newsletter, which will be around this video somewhere. Subscribe to our newsletter, get all of our updates. And of course, if you want to try Zukr, you could go over to our website, zukr.co.uk, and follow all the prompts on there to take you to our latest offers. And of course, coming soon is the Sweet Liberation app. So we can't wait to see you on the inside and to be able to serve you in this joyful journey, celebration of healthy living.
Thank you for joining.
Bye for now.